What is up, Undisputed Champs? We back at it again, giving you boxing reviews and boxing breakdowns. So what's up, y'all? Today we're going to get into who wins for the Undisputed Championship belt. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Let's talk about it. So we see this fight right here, Errol Spence versus Sean Showtime Porter. You see Errol the True Spence being pushed back, being pushed to the limit. You know, Sean Porter gave this fight his all, and you could see it just by the way that he was fighting in this fight. You know, he was getting hit flush, but he was still coming. He was still coming forward, pushing Errol Spence back into the ropes. We can see right here, you know, Errol Spence got caught, off balance. And you see right here, Errol Spence is getting hit. One thing that Errol did do right in this fight is he didn't let Sean push him back too much. And that's one of Errol's strong attributes, as you can see right here. You know, he's fighting in the inside. He can get in the inside. He can get in the inside and fight you. He can counter punch if he need to. But what I didn't like what Errol Spence was doing in this fight is that he was fighting too much. And that's pretty much just Errol's MO. As of right now, you know, he want to beat you up, he want to break you down, and he want to show his superiority when he get in that ring. And I feel as if he needs to use his jab more. He needs to be on his feet, be on his toes more. He needs to use his IQ. Taking this type of punishment is rough. It's rough in there. And this type of punishment can be hurtful in your career. But Errol Spence is a warrior. Errol Spence is a fighter. That's what Errol Spence does. You know, he goes in there and he shows what he does. I think Errol Spence is an exceptional fighter. But like I said before in my other video, he makes mistakes, just like anybody else. But he makes mistakes, and the elite fighters are going to see those mistakes, just like Sean Porter did. He was able to capitalize on those mistakes. But he was also able to capitalize on Sean Porter, as we see right here. But for Errol Spence, what would Errol Spence need to do for Terence Crawford? Well, let's talk about it. Errol Spence will need to use his jab. I believe Errol Spence is taller than Terence Crawford. So being that he's taller than Terence Crawford, he needs to use his height, use his weight. And that's what he would need to do. Like we see right here in this fight, what Errol Spence does, he uses his weight, he uses his height over Kell Brook. Like I said before in my last video, with Kell Brook, what he did to Kell Brook was he pressured Kell Brook. He just started beating Kell Brook up, pushing him back, pushing him towards the ropes, because he found out that he couldn't out jab or counter Kell Brook fast enough. So he was like, okay, I can't outspeed him. I'm not faster than him. I'm not faster, so I can't out counter him. I'm not that type of counter puncher. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just start beating him up. Just start walking to him, showing him that I can't break. You're not gonna break me, and I'm gonna break you before you break me. That's what Errol Spence does. But could he do this type of tactic against Terence Crawford? Now, Terence Crawford, ever since he came to the welterweight division, he just been stopping guys. Let's just be honest. The one argument with Errol Spence when him and Errol Spence was met at MGM Grand, I forgot who fight was it, and they ran into each other, and he was like, "Oh, you don't hit that hard. They say that you don't hit that hard." Well, Terence is hitting hard enough where he's knocking guys out. Okay, that's just the truth of the matter. He's putting people down, and I said that in my last video. Also, I think that Errol Spence his feet are flat, and he has a hard time with fighting on the back foot. Errol Spence has a hard time fighting on the back foot. So when you get in there with Crawford, that's what Crawford does best. Crawford fights on the back foot, and he can fight on the front foot. So this matchup is going to be good because Terence is a great counterpuncher. He's a sharp counterpuncher. As you can see right here with Kell Brook, he was able to counter the counter. That was something that Errol couldn't do. He couldn't counter the counter because he couldn't keep up with the speed. Errol is not a fast puncher like Sean Porter or Terence Crawford or, one of those guys. He's a sharp puncher, a strong puncher, heavy-handed guy. You see right here, Kell Brook tried to come in on Crawford and hit him with a I believe a lead straight. Crawford was able to see it and counter-punched him with a left. I don't know what type of punch that was, but it was like a left hook cross. No, a right hook cross, something like that. And he got Kell up out of there. Even Kell, the fast counter-puncher that he is, couldn't see that punch coming. Probably due to his eye injuries. Maybe. But will Errol see those punches coming? We don't know. Errol has great reflexes. As far as he can catch punches. He can catch punches really good. But Crawford, now I don't want to sound like, I'm Team Crawford and I don't want to seem biased, right? I'm trying to give them a fair shake as possible from my point of view. But I really think that Crawford has the speed advantage because he was in the lower weight category, right? I feel like Errol has the power advantage because he was supposed to be at a higher weight. And the way they both dealt with Sean Porter, like we see right here, Crawford was able to keep distance on Sean Porter. That's something that we didn't get to see with Errol Spence when they fought. When Sean Porter and Errol Spence fought, we didn't see too much of Errol keeping distance from Sean Porter. Sean was able to use his foot speed, use his hand speed, and get in there on Errol, just like Kell Brook. I feel like that's a major weakness. But let's talk about Crawford's weaknesses. Like I said, I don't want to seem biased. So Crawford, as you can see right here with Sean Porter, Crawford has a hard time with, what should I say? It's really like Crawford makes his own mistakes. There's nothing that you can do to Crawford unless he's like right there. He thought he could counter, but he wasn't able to, and he got caught with a shot. That's something that Crawford has a problem with. Sometimes his timing is a little off. At the beginning of the rounds, as you can see right here, this is the second round. So at the beginning of the rounds, Crawford has a hard time with his timing, his distance, and gauging range. And like right here, like you can see, Crawford is a slow starter. But when we go deeper into the rounds, because I studied Crawford, the first, third, and maybe fourth round, because the fourth round is iffy for Crawford. As you can see right here, third round, Crawford gets hit early in the round. As the rounds go on, Crawford's reflexes start to tune in, and he's get harder and harder and harder to hit. That's one of Crawford's strengths. Like, anytime the beginning of the round, he gets hit, he's more susceptible to getting hit. The first, second, and third. I feel like the fourth round is where he starts to really gauge his distance well. He starts to get into his rhythm, should I say. But with Errol likes to get things cooking a lot earlier than Crawford. So who's going to be the one to be the dominant one in the ring? Because both of these guys like to control the ring as soon as they come out. I don't know about y'all, but as soon as Crawford come out, he likes to intimidate his opponents with, I'm going to stand here right in front of you, and I'm not going to move back if you don't want to. As you can see right here, like, he could have stepped back on Sean, but he's countering, he's pivoting, he's slipping certain angles, moving his body in certain angles to get the attack on Sean, right? As you can see, like I said, what is this? The 6th round. As the rounds go on, Terence Crawford gets less acceptable to hit. His timing, his rhythm, everything comes within those middle rounds. The 6, 7, 8, and 9 rounds. Now you can even say the 12th round, because when he fought Jeff Horn, I mean, like even in the 10th round, when he fought Jeff Horn, he was just beating that guy up. But my prediction is I have Terence Crawford winning by TKO. It's either going to be TKO or pure knockout. Now, one thing about Errol Spence is he's a heavy hitter. So we don't know if those punches are going to break Crawford down or if Crawford's punch is going to break Errol Spence down. But Errol Spence is a heavy hitter. He likes to fight in the inside. Crawford is a heavy hitter. He likes to fight on the outside. So it's really going to be a chess match, I believe, like the 1st to the 4th round. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd and 4th round is going to be a chess match. And we're going to see who's going to control the center of the ring, who's going to have the better punches and punch placements, because both of these guys are accurate when they fight. They don't miss a lot. Like when you in there fighting Crawford or Earl, you gonna get hit. That's just a matter of it. But who's the better one out of the two? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. It's really like the cat versus the dog, or the lion versus the bear. Earl is the bear, Crawford is the lion. But who can beat who? They both big. They're both fast for their size, right? As far as the bear and the lion. But as you can see, like even right here, he was able to slip and counter Shawn Porter. This is going to be a great fight because you have a big guy versus the little guy. Because Crawford came up in weight. And ever since he came to welterweight, he's been stopping dudes. So my prediction is Crawford is going to knock Errol Spence out. And really, I don't think Crawford really got a choice. I don't think he really got a choice. He's going to have to make that decision and say, I got to knock this guy out. The reason why is just like what you want to call it fight, this fight right here with Shawn Porter. He was down on the scorecards. Now, I couldn't believe it because I'm like, how? And then I went back, I kept watching it, and I said, oh, they're giving Shawn these points because when Shawn was the one that was throwing from the 1st to the 5th round. Shawn was throwing all these punches. But it was only when they would get close and they'd get tangled up and Shawn would start throwing these rapid punches. But yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a fight, y'all. And I can't wait. And I can't wait for y'all to see it. So what y'all should do is click the like button, subscribe, and this is it. And thanks for coming back to Undisputed Champions. I hope to see y'all soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. Share even. Alright, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Alright, bye.